Hey there. Hang on a second. Let me set this down. Oh, that thing's not heavy at all. All right, guess what we got here? Finally got my fuel line, and all right, that's enough foolishness for 1 week. So I got my fuel line. So that's good because I've been waiting to bolt the body down, the tub down to the frame for good till I got that. So I can get that run now. I got my hubs put on the front end, and I got a dirty old 304 V8 sitting over there in the wall, against the wall, that needs to be taken apart. So I say we just tear right into it and get some of the stuff done. What do you say? You with me? Let's do it. Okay, well, so much for planning. I'm not really sticking with the plan very much, but I did paint the rear shocks, got those all ready to go. I took the boots up inside, like I said, and just washed them with some soap and water. So I can kind of reassemble these and get them ready to go back under the Jeep. And then I've got those hubs to put on, and then we can tear into that block. Although I did get that fuel line, and so I'll probably have to, it kind of looks to me like I'm gonna have to kind of fish the thing back in there from the front. So I'll see about that, and then off we go. So should we do that for now? I think so, let's do it. Okay, well, nothing ever goes according to plan, or sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So this is the new hub. I showed you that. This is where the axle shaft goes into the hub, and my axle shaft is, I believe, 1/16 of an inch bigger than this hole. I've measured it and measured it and measured it, and it just is bigger. So when I put my micrometer inside of my old hub here, it comes out to 1 3/16 inches. When I put it inside of here at the widest part, it's 1 1/8 inches. So explain that one for me, if you will. Gonna have to see if I can take these back to 4-wheel parts, get my money back on them. They're like $200 a set of these, so certainly gonna go get my money back. And then talk to Warren maybe directly and see what I'm missing. When I was ordering these, the only options were either 31 spline hub, which obviously this is, or 10 spline. And it's not a 10 spline. There's 31 splines in there. Well, I haven't counted them, but there's obviously more than 10. So no luck on the hubs. I did get the shocks hung back up on the rear end. I got my boots put back on there and all that stuff. So back under there, got that up. I did mess around a little bit with the gas line. Obviously, it's not going to go in there and make all the bends and stuff that it has to make with the tub sitting on there the way it is. So I am going to loosen the hub back, or the tub back up, pull the bolts out, lift it up again like I did the other day, put some 2x4s under there, get it up where I got 4 or 6 inches of clearance between the frame and the tub. And I think that'll be enough to get the gas line in there. It's just got to twist and turn and make some bends, and it's all pre-bent and all that stuff, so it's a little tricky threading it in there. So I'm going to leave it here for now, and I think I'm going to go have a drink, and I will talk to you later. Okay, so I got up this morning, and I ran over to 4-Wheel Parts and took those hubs back. And when the box was sitting there on the counter, there's a guy that I worked with over there a ton on my Toyota. His name's Ryan. He was looking at, took one look at that part number, and he said, well, that's not the right part number for a Jeep. I thought you were working on the Toyota or something. So apparently I ordered the wrong dang thing again. So anyway, he did say he has the right part number. It's in California at their warehouse, so he's got to get it out here. So I'm just gonna slap this back on. I'll put the end cap back on just to keep my grease clean and dust and dirt and stuff out of there while I wait for that. And then I think I'll go ahead and just pull the Jeep away from the wall a little bit so I can get it all the way around it. And I got all my lumber pieces. We'll pick the tub up and rest it on just some 2x4s under where the mounting points are, and I'll see about getting that main fuel line placed in there, and then we'll see how that goes, and then we can tear into that block. So just gonna button the hubs back up for now and see what we can do about that fuel line, and then see about what we can do about this motor. So let's do that. Okay, so we're making good progress on the block here. I've got the headers off, and let's have a look at some of these. You can see how much blow by we've been getting out of there. These gaskets are looking pretty bad. So these headers, these have always been a problem because you could just never get a bolt in there. You couldn't get a socket on the bolt on the inner side of the pipe on half these bolts to get them tight. So when I got my little 7/16 inch end wrench, I mean, that stuff was just hand tight. Literally, I probably could have turned them with my fingers. So header's been leaking forever. I started working on these valve covers and getting ready to pull those off. Same damn thing. I mean, no wonder there's oil all over the place here. Every screw was loose. I mean, you can see, obviously, oil's been leaking out of there. Hold on one second. So you can see clean metal, oil leaking places all along here. So same, this side was a little better. At least this was screwed down tight, the valve cover was. So I want to bring you over here and just show you what I got. So got all the spark plugs out of there. They all look pretty dark and sooty. So I believe that's an indication that that's running rich. Now, let's set you down here for a second. I got a confession to make. I don't know about that Holley projection thing. Here was the problem with it. One of the problems. I mean, it ran great when it was running good. It was it solved my problem of flooding out on hills. The problem I had with it is that it's adjustable, and the box was, I put the box, I think I had it under the driver's seat. So I was constantly fiddling around, fooling with it, trying to get it adjusted just right. I don't know that I ever did have it adjusted right. So the jury's out on that thing, whether we'll put it back on there. So anyway, I'm going to pull that intake manifold off and then just start on the front end stuff, and then we'll drain the oil out and pull the dipstick out, and we'll be about ready to have that thing stripped down to where it can be replaced by a short block, and then time to spend some more money, get a block coming. So I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to pull the intake manifold and then the water pump and all that stuff off the front. That's about it. So I'll just come back and show you what we got when I got it. I was going to for 2 weeks from now, me again. So this hose going here on the fuel injection system comes down to the distributor, and this other one next to it went around here and did supposedly go into the intake manifold right there. And then obviously we got water coolant circulation here and here. This line right here comes around here and is my fuel line. So there's our fuel line. Not sure why it had to be all around there like it was. So as I lift off the intake manifold, I will have to take off this short water pump hose here. But I think that's about it. I think everything else is just vacuum hoses, and I can lift this intake manifold off there. So we'll see if it's bolted down any tighter than any of the rest of this nonsense. Some big hole plugged in there, hole plugged there. I think that's probably a hole plugged there. Lots of pollution control stuff removed from this thing, I think. So anyway, I think that's the return line, or I might be backwards. This might be return line, this might be the delivery line. Probably. So anyway, there you have it. Not too difficult at this point. So we'll get that oily mess off the top and continue on. I got all the bolts out to pull the intake manifold off. So there's one here, here, here. Same down the other side. And that's the bolts that hold it in place. Now I did pull the distributor out, and I don't know what that is, but what a mess. I pulled off my hoses. This is the thermostat housing. seen better days, as has most of this poor old thing. So the short hose just goes from here to here, and then the big hose goes up here to the radiator. So again, this guy right here off the water pump went into the firewall, and this guy was the other one that went into the firewall. So these two go into the heater core inside of the cab, and then so they come out of the water pump and back into the block. So I'm gonna set this down and lift off that manifold, set it aside, and then I won't be able to film that, I don't think, but I'll show you what it looks like once I get her open. All right, well, this thing hadn't blown up yet, but I think it was about to. So that's a water passage, I believe, and another one, but let's spin around here. So we're at the front driver's side of the block and the back. That's not supposed to be plugged like that. So whatever this is that same stuff. So I don't know if that's just corrosion or what, but I'm going to poke a screwdriver in there, dig around a little bit and see what it looks like once I get that out of there. So yikes. All right, I have never seen anything like that before, but obviously we are having some coolant flow restriction problems. So look at that glob of stuff in there. That's the water pump housing. It's not supposed to look like that. It's almost like it was not running antifreeze, but it was, because I've got antifreeze coming out here. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but maybe all those times down there in Moab when I was pumping extra air through the radiator and thinking I need electric fans and all that wasn't because I was overheating, because I wasn't getting enough heat through the radiators. Maybe I just wasn't circulating water through half the block, apparently. So if there was any doubt whatsoever that putting a short block in this thing is the right thing to do, I'm sure we've dispelled that by now, haven't we? All right, well, if there's one constant in this project, it's the constant cleaning up after myself. So I'm at the point now where a V8 has apparently exploded inside of the garage. So I got a little cleaning to do now, but for the most part, other than that last little housing on the front, I've got that V8 torn apart and about as far as it needs to go, I think. So the Jeep needs to be ready to slide back over against the wall over there so we can get the car back in. And I got to find a home for all this stuff. But I won't bore you with that. It's just cleanup work. So I'll get on that. And then after that, it might be time to head out there and pull that tarp off that sailboat. See how that thing survived the winter. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time around.